Okay, so from the very start of the fight, George Groves found a lot of success with his jab. This was mainly due to his constant use of feints to prevent Eubank from timing him with a meaningful counter. Feinting is very important to utilize because it allows you to establish your offense. If you intelligently mix up feints with punches, your opponent will have a very hard time reading your next move, and George Groves did this very effectively in order to establish his jab. Let's break down exactly what Groves did in each of those exchanges. So here we're going to see Groves give Eubank a subtle feint, and then he notices that Eubank's response is to slip slightly, and he doesn't give up any ground. I also want to add that feinting works best in your favor if you can pick up on your opponent's reactions to your feints and adjust to find openings in their defense. Since Eubank didn't give up ground here, Groves sneakily inches forward after changing levels to get into punching range so he could land that jab right there. And then he smartly steps out of range before Eubank is able to retaliate. Here we see Groves perform a hard feint where he steps in, he reads Eubank, then he takes another feint, he feints him again, and then yet another feint, and then this time he actually throws the jab, which Eubank does a very good job of getting out of the way from. But notice what happened there. Groves threw 4 different feints before committing to the punch, just to see how Eubank would respond to them. And in this case, Groves is going to use level changing to feint at Eubank. So here we're going to see that Groves is going to change levels, so it's going to go high and then low in order to mix up Eubank and make him unsure whether he's going to the body or to the head. So we notice here that Groves switches from low to high, and then he finally pounces on Eubank by going high. And this is because Groves would feint at Eubank, changing levels, and then Eubank would react by taking a step back and standing there. Then after the feint, Groves would feint down low and then go up high and catch Eubank. Excellent boxing. This sequence also shows that Groves is exceptional at reading his opponent and adapting to how his defense is. Here, Chris Eubank correctly times George Groves' feint and catches him with a jab before Groves can throw a follow-up punch. Even though feints are designed to make you more difficult to counter, you can be countered for feinting if you're not careful. And Chris Eubank does this by following up with a punch as soon as he sees George Groves' feint. Here we're going to see George Groves throw another feint, but this time he's going to correct his previous mistake by baiting out Chris Eubanks' counter punch, and this time he's ready for it by maintaining his defensive responsibility and fading away from this punch. We see that George Groves has picked up on the fact that Eubank is now punching in response to his feints. Groves makes an adjustment by baiting out Eubanks' counter with another hard feint, but this time he maintains his defensive responsibility afterwards. We now see that a chess match is unfolding in the middle of the ring, and this adjustment by Groves shows that he won this chess match by establishing his jab and keeping Eubank guessing with feints. Towards the second half of the fight, Groves started finding a lot of success landing his straight right hand. To understand how he did this, we must take a look at his stance. Whenever Groves looked to throw a straight right, he would drop his right hand down to his body, but more importantly, he would also move his hand forward in order to bring his glove closer to his opponent. he would shave off fractions of a second from his straight right hand by doing this, and he disguises it by dropping his right hand away from his opponent's immediate vision. If you combine Groves' success landing the straight right hand with the fact that he already established his ability to land jabs on Eubank, then you end up with a very dangerous 1-2 combination. Groves' straight right hand would follow his jab extremely quick due to his subtle change in his stance. This makes it very dangerous to try to counter his jab because his straight right hand will catch you if you don't time your counter perfectly. The last thing I want to talk about is how Chris Eubank was able to adjust to George Groves' straight right hand by throwing sweeping left hooks around his glove. So as soon as you see George Groves drop his glove here, Chris Eubank is going to recognize it, and he's going to attempt to throw a wide leaping left hook around that glove of George Groves. And George Groves is not able to bring his glove back in time to block this left hook. And here in the last round, we see Chris Eubank land another big sweeping leaping left hook around George Groves' lowered right hand. And this is a very good adjustment from Chris Eubank. It's just unfortunate for him that it came too late, and he was just edged out by George Groves in the end. Very close card. As always, thanks everybody for watching. If you enjoyed the video or learned something, please leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see everybody in the next video. I'll see you all soon.